Hey everybody. So I have been playing with the whole concept of playlists lately. It is right up my alley because I was that kid who made mixtapes all the time. I loved them. I gave them to friends, boyfriends. I just made them for myself. So this is fun to have, you know, time to make some playlists with the videos. So I have a couple that I started already. One is called Go Out to Go In, and it's about doing these videos and having the mindfulness meditation practice outside, inspired by nature, letting nature in. And then I have another playlist I started called Carpool Meditation. And as it sounds, it's all of the videos and practices that take place in the car, not just because during a pandemic, that's a great place to go for solitude and silence and predictability, but also when we're not in a pandemic, I find that those moments in between our busy lives often show up in a car. Like we get somewhere a little early, or we just have, or we're waiting for somebody. So anyway, that's the one. So I wanted to start another one, and it's inspired by yesterday. I went out on a distanced run with a really good friend who I've missed so much during this pandemic. She ironically lives, I think I'm looking at her house right now. She lives like a block away, but feels so far away, right, during this time of shelter in place. And so we recently have been doing these distanced runs, and it's felt so good to just be in person again with somebody who's such a big part of your heart and of your journey. And yesterday we were having some deep talks, and I guess I said something. I got some clarity on something and just said something. And next thing I know, she stopped right behind me and just said, "Wait, what you just said, we have to acknowledge that and honor that, bring that in. That what you just said has so much truth to it for you that we can't just keep running and like let that go." So anyway, it ended up being a really significant moment when we talked through that. And at the end of our run, we were kind of joking, like, yeah, let's do another one of those runs, like truth trails, because we're out on the trails. And so I walked in the house, and that was just reverberating with me. I kept hearing the ringing of that truth trail. So I sat down and I wrote a poem. And I do that every once in a while. I write poetry. I'm not a regular, but when something really moves me, a poem just needs to come out. So I thought that I would start a playlist of just some poems that I think maybe touch on themes that others may relate to. So this is my first. It's called Truth Trails. And here it is. Truth Trails. "Stop," she blurted. "What you just said, it's too big, it's too true." I stopped running and turned to face her fully. Some 10 feet away, ajar on lopsided terrain pocked with chasms and crevices, was my firm friend in her self-rising strength and power, hearing her own knowing recognize mine. My savage friend in her own non-negotiableness, calling me out, calling me in. My precious friend in her chilling love and devotion, standing downwind of me, catching a monumental truth as it slipped past my lips and whipped toward the open sea. What you just said, it needs to find its place, an anchor in your body. I paused to replay my words. A profound declaration indeed. A line in the sand. A very clear, not this. Look up, look around, and find something out here that will help that land in your body. I saw splotches of squat, prickly emerald brush and arteries of well-worn, dusty trails undulating across the open bluffs. Towering, no-nonsense cypress trees looming further in the distance. I sighed with an uninspiration of a gray, dank coastal morning. Then, above the horizon, my eyes locked in to a silvery sliver of an opaque sky, skirting just beneath the oppressive, compressive bank of pewter clouds, and just above the thin, fragile, eroding cliffline. A faint clearing to be in an ominous sky, trapped between not willing and not wanting, hovering between fear and resentment. These edges of the opening were like lips barely parting, taunting me with mere imagination of what might be and what might become. Just space up ahead. It hung in the distance as hope. It radiated back as trust. When truth drops on a trail, we catch it, if we're lucky enough. If we're lucky enough. So that's my tribute, people, to truth trails and to paying attention, to notice and recognize these moments when they happen and what they might hold for us as we continue on our paths. Thanks. See you another time with maybe another poem.